Hey folks, welcome back, another Palm Massive video. So I've been meaning to do this video for a while, and by a while I mean all this morning, except for the fact that when I was looking for like background music to play in this video, I was trying to look for some Hoenn music, right? And as you can probably hear in the background right now, it's the Maxi remix for Palm Masters. I just couldn't stop, man. I fell into the nostalgia hole, right, of my favorite region, Hoenn. Listening to music, looking at maps again. Oh my god, I love that. I love the Hoenn games, man. They're all so good. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, the Mega Ruby, Alpha, Sapphire. Oh, so good, man. Especially the early game. Early game in Hoenn, fantastic. Whatever. Let's not get into that. Let's get into the topic of this video, which is what I think the 3rd year anniversary gimmick is, right? Because so far, every year we've been getting a gimmick at the anniversary time, right? And I feel like it's probably going to happen this year as well, because we need something to happen. And I feel like it matches perfectly with the upcoming Hoenn Villian Arc, allegedly upcoming. Because again, it's not 100% confirmed that next Villian Arc is Hoenn, but because again, nothing's 100% officially until like it's like actually in the game and all that, right? But it's pretty much chances of it being Hoenn is extremely high right now. So yeah, and I feel like it just makes a lot of sense, this theory, right? Because if you look at again, every anniversary we've had so far, right? Every like full year anniversary, not counting the half years, right? In year 1, what did we get? We get EXs, right? First year anniversary, we got EXs. They EX'd SS Blue, SS Leaf as the 2 new units. They EX'd Rosa, right? The free unit, obviously. And then they EX'd SS Red, right? That was from the half-year anniversary. Do keep in mind, people sometimes forget, SS Red was not a first-year anniversary unit. It was a 0.5-year anniversary unit, right? But the EX he got was during the first-year anniversary. And then the second-year anniversary came around, although it's not, like, specifically part of the anniversary as a... It was in the same month, right? But it was, like, the second half of the anniversary. But it also was kind of part of the anniversary, which was the Villian Arc, right? The Villian Arc came out, and that was a big thing. That was the big thing, that was one of the big celebration things that the second anniversary brought, right? Outside of the anniversary units, it's the beginning of the Villian Arc, right? And then the Villian Arc brought us power boosts for legendary event units, right, from the past, right? Obviously, they power boosted Mewtwo, made it into Mega Mewtwo, all that stuff, right? And then after that, we got power boost for Palkia, Cyrus, expanded at Synchro, and then we got power boost for Ho-Oh, expanded at Synchro as well. So my guess for the 3rd anniversary, I feel like the gimmick this time for old units, because all these are like new gimmicks that they added onto old units, right? EXs, they started EXing old units, right? I mean, they added it to new units that came out as well, right? But also power boosting old legendary event units. I feel like what they could do in year 3, 3rd anniversary, and this is a pretty big one if they actually do go through with this, but I feel like it's power boost for other old units, just non-free units, summonable old units, power boost. So the big issue with this is that you are altering, right? You are altering paid units. So legally, I'm not 100% sure how legal it is. Although I did ask some experts on this issue. They say it is much easier to do from a legal perspective than nerfing a unit, a summonable unit, right? A unit that costs premium currency, right? It is much easier to illegally to buff a unit than to nerf one. So as you could see, that being, if that's a 3rd year anniversary gimmick, I feel like it fits perfectly with Hoenn Villian Arc being at the same time or similar times to 3rd year anniversary. Again, we don't exactly know how this is going to go, right? But if you just look at Hoenn, right? If you look at Hoenn's the perfect region for them to do, right? If they wanted to power boost, because there's a lot of units Hoenn could power boost, because obviously, the big thing about power boosting, or the more catchy part about power boosting, is not expanding Synchrons, even though expanding Synchrons arguably could be the better part, in comparison to like other things, right? But power boosting, the big eye-catching thing is just to turn old units that weren't able to Mega or whatever and make them Mega, right? That's with Mega Mewtwo, right? So again, Hoenn's a perfect region for that. And look at what we have in Hoenn, right? Look at what we have in Hoenn over here. We have the big two, right? Archie and Maxi, and that's the thing, right? Because we already got Archie and Maxi in the game. So the Villian Arc is gonna feature them for sure, right? I mean, they feature the villain in every of these Villian Arcs, right? They featured Giovanni in the Kanto one. They got Giovanni back again for Johto. They got a new Cyrus unit and the Cyrus power boost in the Sinnoh Villian Arc, right? And it seems like it would be kind of weird. It would be very, very weird I feel like, for them to give us a new Maxi and Archie. So, because it's really hard to pair them with any other Pokemon out of, other than Groudon and Kyogre. And yeah, they could pair them with something like a Mega Sharpedo, Mega Camerupt. But like, the thing about that is, it fits them, but we already have Maxi and Archie with Groudon and Kyogre. And Groudon and Kyogre, no offense to Mega Sharpedo and Mega Camerupt, are like 10 times more hype than Sharpedo or Camerupt, right? And I'm assuming if they would give us a new Archie and Maxi, it should be stronger than the old ones. And, having like a Mega... Also, we already have Mega Sharpedo. Not that it matters. I mean, we've had, same units. So I feel like the easiest way to do this is just to rerun them straight up. And then power boost them so we could get Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. Again, it's very, very curious as well. When they first came out, right, when Maxi and Archie first came out, they weren't Primal for some reason, which you'd think, that's a no-brainer. Obviously, you'd Primal them, but maybe they weren't Primaling them. Primaling? That's a weird term. They didn't make them Primal because they were saving it for the 30th anniversary when they would introduce us to the gimmick of power boosting old summonable units. And they could make Groudon Primal. They could power boost Groudon, make it Primal. They could power boost Kyogre to make Kyogre Primal. And again, Hoenn as a region is just the prime target for them. It's not just Groudon and Kyogre, right? The big one everyone thinks about is Brendan as well. Brendan Sceptile. I'm very, very certain, right? I'm like 95% sure we will be getting a new Brendan. Most likely with Mega Latios, right? In the new Villian Arc. But, what about the old one? They could definitely power boost this one as well, right? I'm not saying they're going to power boost all three of them, because I do think 3 is a bit too much, right, to power boost old units. Because if you do look at the past, if you do look at, for example, first year anniversary, right? First year anniversary, in terms of the units they EX'd, they only EX'd 4 units in total, right? They EX'd SS Blue, they EX'd SS Leaf, right? SS Blue, SS Leaf, EX'd Rosa, and then EX'd Red. So it's actually split to 2 new units with EXs, and then 2 old units that got EXs. So I feel like 3 old units getting an EX here is a bit too much. So maybe not Brendan now specifically. Maybe they'll give Brendan the power boost later. But I do feel like, again, Archie Max are definitely primed for it, and even maybe something like a Salamence, Drake Salamence. It's not as cool as the 5-star ones, but Drake Salamence could potentially also get that treatment as well, right? Maybe even this Zinnia, although this is a free one, so maybe not. Who knows, right? But yeah, we'll see. I do feel like it's just like it's the perfect opportunity, right? But we do have to kind of look at the timeline, because I won't expect it to come next update, really, right? Because I feel like the other thing is, well, what's the anniversary going to be? Is the anniversary going to be a Hoenn? Is the anniversary just going to be the Hoenn Villian Arc, or is it going to be something separate? I do feel like it could be something separate, because if you do look at the last 2 anniversaries, right? If you do also include the half-year anniversary, right? The Anni, May, Raihan, and Skyla, if you want to count SS Serena as well, right? As well as Annie, Steven, Lily, and N. There wasn't really like a compact sort of like structure around them, they kind of were just like thrown in there as like individual things. Like, okay, this month we're gonna do all this other stuff, but also at the beginning of the month, at anniversary, we're gonna drop these 3 units, right? Because the rest of the month, for example, the second anniversary was the Kanto Villian Arc, and obviously Annie, Lily, Ed, and Steven had nothing to do with the with the Kanto Villian Arc, right? It's just like they kind of just dropped them there. So I do feel like it's possible for the anniversary units to be something different, and they just drop them in the middle over there, right? And I feel like it could also be a good opportunity for the anniversary, because if they want to introduce this new gimmick, I feel like they have to really sort of introduce it with the anniversary units first, right? So maybe the anniversary units are going to get this power boost thing. And if you think, oh, well, kind of, you know, isn't power boost supposed to be for like old units? No, well, not really. Power boost could be something that they unlock, whether you have to like farm it through the game, or a maybe worst case scenario, which would be maybe you have to pull 4 out of 5 for it to, you know, power boost. But, you know, I feel like the farming thing makes a bit more sense just because that's how the other units power boosted, right? That's how Mewtwo gets his power boost, right? Farmed in an event. But maybe these would be, like, not limited, and they would just be, like, you know, added to the permanent training area or whatever it's called, right? The training area place, right? And you could power boost those. And then after that, maybe they'll finally rerun Leon and power boost Leon, right? Because that could be because they've actually talked about that, right? Look at my max affinity Machop, because they actually did talk about that, right? In a dev letter like very, very, very long ago, right? When I think Leon first came out, so they could do that. They could power boost. They could power boost Leon, and they could like rerun Raihan and power boost Raihan as well, right? Because those are again prime targets for the power boost. So they can make those two. Duraludon and Charizard G-Max. So, yeah. And then I feel like what probably could happen in terms of a timeline-wise, right, is they first release the new May. I do feel like May is probably going to be released at either the end of July or the beginning of August, right? So just that time period. End of July, beginning of August is probably when May is coming out, because, I mean, if it's going to be the icon of the next version, it's usually the unit on the icon usually comes out relatively early, right? If you look at, for example, the Cynthia icon, if you look at the current icon right now, current icon's this one, by the way, not any of the other ones. The N, right? N came out at the very, very beginning of this update, so May being the icon probably going to be the very, very beginning of that update, which again should be the end of July or the, you know, to the beginning of August, right? A few days in between. We'll see when exactly that is. So the issue with that is I feel like it's just a weird period for it to be in, right? So I feel like May is probably just going to come by herself as the Villian Arc unit, right? But she's going to be like the prelude unit. Because if you guys do remember, the last 2 Villian Arcs, we've had prelude units, right? SS Morty was the prelude. SS Morty came, like, way before, like, the rest, before the Villian Arc actually dropped, right? Came almost, like, a month before the, or 3 weeks before the actual Villian Arc Part 1 dropped. And then same thing with Cynthia, right? Cynthia also came before the actual Part 1 of the Villian Arc dropped. It was a prelude first, right? If you guys... look at I think the story shows that too, right? Doesn't it? Or does it not? I don't remember. Never mind. I think the prelude was like its own thing in the event. Anyways, whatever, right? Regardless, May's probably going to be a prelude. We might get some other non-related stuff in between, and then maybe at the like almost like 2 or 3 weeks, like maybe at the end of like almost the end of August, we could get part 1 of the Hoenn Villian Arc, and then at the very end of August and beginning of September, we'll get the anniversary units, and then after that, we'll do part 2 of the Hoenn Villian Arc. So prelude, maybe some other stuff, maybe not. Maybe they could just do prelude, part 1, Hoenn Arc, right? So prelude, Hoenn Arc, part 1, other stuff, part 1, Hoenn Arc, anniversary, Hoenn Arc part 2. And I feel like if they are going to do power boost for like Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, if they are going to rerun those guys, I do feel like it's going to be in the part 2 of the Villian Arc. So I do think they are going, if they are going to do a gimmick, it's going to be Power Boost, and they definitely, prime targets, right? Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, prime targets to get Power Boosted. But if it is going to happen, it's not going to happen next update. I feel like it's going to happen in the update after, right? So if the next update doesn't have any of these, doesn't have a Power Boosted Brendan, doesn't have Power Boosted Maxi Archie, don't go screaming like, haha, oh my god, it's not gonna happen, they're gonna get Power Boost and they're gonna stuck at their regular form forever. No. Again, if it does happen, I do feel like it's gonna be in part 2, because also, do keep in mind, they are gonna Power Boost Zinnia as well, right? But with legendary event units, usually what happens is in part 1, they give them an EX, and then part 2, they Power Boost it, right? So Zinnia's Power Boost is probably into Mega Rayquaza is gonna be in part 2 as well. And then also, like I mentioned before, if they are going to introduce the gimmick, it should be introduced on the anniversary units first, right? It should be introduced on the anniversary units first, and then afterwards they could put it on some others. Because that also happened in the first year anniversary with EXs, right? They first introduced it on the new SS Leaf, SS Blue, right? Again, SS Red along with them, and Rosa. But then after that, right after that, we got introduced to the Aether family, right? With Luzamine, Gladian, and Lily, which at the time were pretty hype, even though the units, if you look at them right now, aren't, all 3 of them are not very good. But that's not that's not the issue here. Why did I just take a random jab at them? I love them. I love the Aether family. I don't know why I just took a random jab at them. Unnecessary. I'm sorry. I apologize. But you know, right after that, they dropped those 3 units and then gave all of them EXs, and every subsequent new unit released, right, or new 5-star summonable at least, after that always had an EX, right? So I do feel like the power boosted units, yeah, if they are gonna rerun or power boost Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, maybe even Brendan, right, it'll probably be after the anniversary. Right, so it's gonna be in the hypothetical Hoenn Villian Arc part 2. So, anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts over here. As for like how good these units are gonna be, like, that's not the topic for today. I'm just talking about again the potential over here for the the 30-year anniversary big gimmick, right? And I feel like after that, right, just like the EXs, every month we might get like 1 or 2 or 3 power boosts for older units, right? Because, you know, some of them really need it, right? I mean, come on, man. Like a Glacia grid? Can we expand Glacia's grid? This is like, I don't even think it's debatable that Glacia is by far the weakest summonable 5-star in the game right now, right? I mean, I was actually thinking about it the other day. Who's the worst summonable 5-star? Is it like Plumeria? Is it Summer Lyra? And then I suddenly remembered that Glalie exists, and no, it's 100% Glalie. Glalie is so much worse than all the other summonable 5-stars in the game, right? So, you know, power boost for old units. Older units, right? Give them, you know, those who need megas could give them mega. Those who need Dynamaxes, like a Nessa, like Alistair. Well, Alistair already has one. Who else? I don't know. Like units. Let's see. What were the Galar? Any other Galar people that need Dynamax or Gmaxes? I mean, they could always get, any Pokemon could get Dynamax if the game really just wanted to give them a Dynamax. It's like almost every Pokemon in the game can Dynamax, just minus what, Zacian, whatever, right? Is it really just Nessa, Raihan, Leon? Inteleon's another one. Grimmsnarl's another one, right? Yeah, you know what? No. There's a few, right? There's a few of the other units that could actually, you know, Gmax, power boost them, give them Gmax for units that doesn't have a Mega or doesn't have a Gmax or whatever, right? Just give them, you know, expanded Synchronids like Ho-Oh and Cyrus, which again, don't look down on those. Those are potentially even better than giving the unit a Gmax or a Mega, right? So anyways, yeah, that's me this one, I guess. Hope y'all enjoyed. That's just my little theory about, you know, tying the Hoenn Villian Arc and the 3-year anniversary together, right, in terms of what we could get. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, all that stuff. Again, I'm excited. I can't wait for the Hoenn Villian Arc. I love Hoenn. I hope they do it well. So yeah, have fun, folks. Go nuts in the comments about these theories and stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.